You're going into the dark wood again? His smile faded into a look of concern. I'll be with my mother. Gran depends upon our deliveries. He stepped closer, staring down into my eyes, making my pulse race. Your grandmother should come stay in the village. It makes no sense for anyone to live alone out there, much less a woman of her age. I've been telling her that for years. Maybe today she'll listen. But I had no real hope of that. My grandmother had lived alone in the dark wood since before I was born, surviving by rarely venturing far from the clearing where her cabin sat, an island of daylight in a sea of shadows. It was the journey that held most of the danger. It isn't safe in the woods for two women alone. Granger leaned closer and gave my cloak another little tug, his nose brushing my hair as he whispered, When we're married, I shall accompany you if you insist upon visiting your grandmother out there. My pulse raced so fiercely I was certain he could hear it. You would come with me? His hand went to the pommel of his sword. The village watch protects all of Oakvale. And when his father retired someday, Granger would be the head of the watch. Do you think I would do any less for my own wife? Wife! The thought drew my lips into another smile as I gazed up at him. I'd been in love with him since I was 12 years old, when he'd run off the Thayer brothers who had cornered me behind the mill and were taunting me about my red hair. Granger had said my hair was beautiful. Then he'd stolen a kiss and sworn that someday he would marry me. Since then, he'd been a constant fixture at my side, sweetly eager to make his claim known, even though no one had challenged him for my affection. And yet, that little thrill had not begun to fade with familiarity. It sparked anew between us every time his hand brushed mine or his gaze settled on me. Every time he stole a kiss. It's been a month since I asked for your hand. I must admit, I'd hoped to have an answer by now. And I'd hoped to give you one. I pulled my cloak tighter against the cold. Yet every time I try to talk to my mother, she's too busy to speak on the matter. I will ask my father to press the issue. No, don't. Though she'd always been gracious to him, and he to her, my mother was privately wary of the head of the watch. She'd never said why exactly, but I'd always suspected it had to do with my father's death. I'll talk to her on our way to Gren's cabin. She won't be able to avoid the subject when there's only the two of us. Granger nodded. You'll both be careful out there? And we won't veer from the path, or stop. It isn't our first trip into the dark wood. I rose onto my toes to press a kiss to his cheek. And if you come by later tonight, I'll recount our entire adventure for you. It will be as if you were right there with me. I look forward to that. He caught me around the waist before I could drop back onto my heels, and he claimed a kiss boldly from my lips. I've just finished maintaining the torches, and I'll be on patrol until dusk, hoping to lay eyes on the fox that stole one of Madame Gerard's eggs. Expect me once the sun has gone down. You checked the torches alone? When I was born, the unnatural forest had only bordered 2/3 of our tiny village, but in the 16 years since, it had swelled to surround Oakvale entirely, except where the river formed the northern border, which meant there were many more torches to maintain now than there were when Granger's father took over the village watch when we were little. That task seemed impossibly large for one man. No, I was only responsible for the east half of the halo, yet that still took all morning. Did you hear anything from the woods? He wouldn't have been able to see more than a few feet into the forest, but the dark wood was rarely quiet. Just